CTV News at 5 with Hudson Mack.
RCMP in Nanaimo have arrested two men for a murder last summer in Arrington. 47-year-old Douglas Treble was found dead inside his trailer in July. There were signs of a struggle, and police say the people that Treble fought with had left clues behind.
Very active investigation is proceeding forward. It should be pointed out, too, that the arrests were made as a result of the hard work by the Nanaimo RCMP Forensic Unit, which uncovered forensic evidence which led to the identity of the two people arrested this week.
Two men have now been arrested in connection with Treble's murder, but police are not yet releasing their names.
This week, there was two people arrested, a 40-year-old person in Qualicum Beach at a residence on Monday evening around 6 p.m. That was followed up Tuesday morning with the arrest of a 34-year-old person. The 34-year-old is still in custody and will be making an appearance in court sometime tomorrow. The 40-year-old has been released, but is still a person of interest in this file.
At the time of the killing, police said it appeared to have been targeted. They will not comment on the victim's criminal history or whether there are any ties to organized crime. And Victoria police swarmed a downtown motel this morning after getting reports of a man with a gun. Shortly after 9 o'clock, police responded to a call at the Travelers Inn at the corner of Rock Bay and Ellis. Officers were told that there was a man who had been assaulted and was lying in the parking lot, and there may have been a firearm involved. There was. Police swept 3 suites and found a .22 caliber rifle and ammunition.
And as you may have seen, we were involved with 3 different suites here. People were moving around. We got it contained and we searched 3 suites. As a result of that, 1 male is in custody so far for this event. And we did recover a .22 caliber rifle out of one of the suites and some ammunition, so our investigation is continuing.
Police say the gun was hidden. The man who was assaulted, as it turned out, suffered minor injuries only. Well, Premier Christy Clark says she's leaving the fall sitting with the foundation of her jobs plan firmly in place, but the opposition doesn't see it that way. NDP leader Adrian Dix says the Liberals are on shaky ground when it comes to creating jobs, helping the less fortunate, and funding the justice system. And the NDP says the top judge of the BC Supreme Court is backing them up.
Chief Justice Bauman described BC's justice system, and I quote, as threatened, if not in peril. He went on to say, the stability and integrity of our courts and judicial system are being slowly eroded by the lack of funding.
17 fewer judges than in 2005, the only province in Canada to have fewer judges over that period. We have drug dealers walking free. What's next? What's it going to actually take before the Liberal government understands the seriousness of this problem?
During a spirited back-and-forth exchange in question period this afternoon, as members got in their last licks, Attorney General Shirley Bond says she's discussed the idea with the Chief Justice, and she's added 14 judges over the past 2 years. The Liberals also say they've recently graduated the largest class of sheriffs in recent history and have added 55 new court clerks and administrative staff. Bond also points to BC's drunk driving laws and getting police officers at the roadside, giving them the power to convict.
We decided to take a different approach in British Columbia, and despite the controversial approach around immediate roadside prohibitions, we're very proud to say that not only are those cases being moved out of courtrooms to save resources, more importantly, 45 people went home to their families because of action taken by the government, Mr. Speaker.
Nanaimo MLA Leonard Krogh, the NDP justice critic, says BC's Chief Justice speaking out on this issue is unusual and even unprecedented. Krogh calls the rising number of court cases in the province being thrown out due to a lack of resources simply awful. And the government's dishing out disciplinary action over that brochure banning businesses from marketing to gay and lesbian groups in China. The province says the ban of promotion of gay tourism in BC was simply the result of poor judgment. That issue was a passage in a brochure that the government sent to business owners showing them the best way to market their tourism business in China. The brochure instructed businesses not to promote casino gambling or gay tourism. The minister responsible, Pat Bell, says tourism staff had ample opportunity to identify the offensive language.
We went back to the Canadian Tourism Commission. The first action was taken by our team in terms of asking the question, is this attribution correct or not? Subsequent to that, we had some questions from the Canadian Tourism Commission as well as the ambassador in China. What exactly is the minister saying? We're unclear that this is the case. Could you please make sure that what he's saying is correct?
That passage has since been pulled out. So far, no employees have lost their jobs. The minister says staff will be given training to ensure that this doesn't happen again. One other note from the legislature tonight, the province has made good on its promise to introduce an Auditor General for local governments. The Municipal Auditor's Office will conduct audits to ensure that local taxpayers are getting their money's worth, but it will offer advice only. It will not impose solutions at the municipal level. The NDP said today it's not really sure that this is necessary. People who are upset about the installation of smart meters in their homes are speaking out again.
And they believe that they have found some avenues that can bring an end to this undemocratic and dangerous program.
On this last day of the sitting, dozens of protesters rallied on the steps of the legislature today. The group says it has collected 15,000 signatures against the meters. Demonstrators are concerned that the wireless technology in the smart meters is harmful to our health. The province says the smart grid is critical to the province's future.
You know, hydro needs to be able to be integrated, not just with the homes and the people they're providing power to, but also along a smart integrated system that we're building, so that we'll be the jurisdiction in North America where we'll know where we have load loss on major lines coming across BC, so we can save power. By saving power, we save money. It allows us to keep the rates down for consumers.
What what Coleman is not telling people is that the World Health Organization designated microwave radio frequency on May of 2011 as a possible human cancer risk. It's possible to cause human cancer. Every single person has the right to refuse something that has a health risk being forced on them, being attached to their home without their consent, without their choice. That is unacceptable.
So far, about 300,000 of the smart meters have been installed, and there have been no reported incidents. Well, today is American Thanksgiving, and we send our best wishes to our American viewers. Tomorrow, the day after Thanksgiving, of course, is Black Friday, the busiest shopping day of the year. And it's not just an American thing. Hundreds of Canadians have gone south to take part in the consumer tradition to get a head start on their Christmas shopping and take in a few bargains. Today's windstorm didn't keep the bargain hunters away or keep the ferries from heading to the U.S., at least out of the Anacortes Ferry Terminal in Sydney. It was there people were lined up on the hunt for savings, telling us that the wait and the choppy seas were worth it.
I'm very excited about it.
Why?
Why?
Yeah.
Oh, haven't you seen those sales? Oh, yeah, they're exciting. That's exciting.
What kind of sales are there?
Big ones.
We're going to do some Christmas shopping.
Yeah, lots of Christmas shopping.
There's been some all right deals. It doesn't seem like there's anything that's amazing. There are some TVs that are pretty good prices, but I'm a little concerned about the duties coming over.
What kind of deals do you get down there?
We have no idea. We're Albertans. We've come to visit friends on the island, so it's just this whole experience of Black Friday.
And these folks were getting the experience as well, lined up at the Coho Ferry Terminal in downtown Victoria. People braving the cold, trying to catch a hot deal.
What's taking you across the border today?
Black Friday shopping.
And is this something you normally do?
Done it a few years now.
Yeah. And what attracts you to it?
Just the good deals and a road trip with the girlfriends.
Well, our dollar is a little less than the American dollar right now. And I have American dollars, so and the prices are always cheaper. I've got a few items on my list to buy.
Black Friday kicks off the official U.S. Christmas shopping season. Hardcore bargain hunters were camped out earlier this week, many of them electronic stores, since Tuesday and Wednesday. Well, it wasn't just the Campbell River area and Comox Valley hit hard. The storm battered communities up and down the island, knocking out power to thousands. At its height, the storm had 15,000 people on the island without power. Most of it has been restored right now, but BC Hydro says some folks probably will be waiting until tomorrow.
Though our crews will be working for a long time trying to restore power there. Unfortunately, it doesn't look like we're going to get everybody on tonight in Campbell River because of the damage. We're not going to see power restored on Cortez until tomorrow sometime. The ferries aren't running up there, so we can't get crews over. And unfortunately, even if they were running, we wouldn't be able to put crews over there because there's such damage on the Campbell River side, so many outages we have to attend to there that we wouldn't be able to get to any outlying areas.
More than 5,000 homes north of the Malahat are still without power, and that number includes people on the Gulf Islands. BC ferries also hard hit by the storm. The first sailings this morning got across the strait, but by 11 o'clock, the major routes to the mainland were virtually shut down, and a number of minor routes saw their service suspended as well.
We've actually had to cancel sailings on 10 different routes, affecting 13 vessels. As of 3 p.m. today, we have still suspended service on our major routes. We did make a round trip earlier in the day, but as of 11 o'clock, we did have to suspend service. Hopefully, the winds will start to die down and we'll be able to resume service later this evening.
Ferries warns that once the service resumes, it will be very busy, and that's what's happening tonight. There'll be long waits from the backlogs as the passengers try to get where they're going. From the main terminals in the south, there is a 3-sailing wait and additional sailings on until midnight. They're clearing the backlog from Departure Bay and elsewhere. In addition to that, RCMP in Port Alberni are investigating a sudden death that could be a homicide. Officers were called to the corner of 8th and Maitland just after 1 this morning for a man who was believed to be intoxicated and passed out. But when they arrived with paramedics, they discovered the 56-year-old man was dead.
A death of this nature is considered suspicious until we determine otherwise. So we will be conducting a thorough investigation that will include speaking with potential witnesses as well as a forensic examination of the scene and of the individual.
Police say the man has some facial injuries, could be from falling or being attacked. He's a local, but his name's not being released. As the investigation evolved today, more resources were brought in to help with the case. At around 3 o'clock this afternoon, Port Alberni officers arrested a 28-year-old man they believe was involved in the incident. The investigation is still going on. The Nanaimo RCMP detachment is mourning the loss of one of its members. Funeral services were held today for Corporal Ian Phillip. He died Sunday after a 2-year battle with cancer. RCMP officers from up and down the island marched in their red serge through the streets of Nanaimo today to honor their friend and colleague.
Ian recently worked in our criminal intelligence unit. It was a long-standing, well-respected member within the Vancouver Island community. He's an excellent guy. He was very involved in the community, very involved in policing, had a passion for the job, and did an excellent job for the RCMP.
Ian Phillip leaves behind a wife and 3 daughters. He was 52 years old. Well, the decorations are up, the lights are going up, and Christmas is just around the corner, so the hunt may be on for that perfect stocking stuffer. And if you have an animal lover on your list, then the Mountain Air Avian Rescue Society has an idea for you. The nonprofit organization assists injured wildlife, but it's in funding trouble. To ease it, the group is teaming up with a local chocolatier to make edible bald eagles in hope that the money from those sweet birds will help their real-life counterparts.
This is a beautiful mold of a bald eagle with a lot of detail. And then they made them in milk and in dark chocolate with hand-painted white head and white tail, and so a lot of labor goes into this, a labor of love, and so we're selling these as a fundraiser for Mars as well.
The nonprofit organization is also holding a Christmas raffle and sale, including a variety of animal-related gifts. If you'd like to find out more how you can buy one of these eagles, log on to wingtips.org.